Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Perth Blue Baggers pod. My name is Louis, your host.
I'm Marty on special comments.
In this episode, we'll be reviewing our round 19 clash against North Melbourne, and we'll be previewing our round 20 clash against Port Adelaide. So let's get into it.
Made it tough for Saad. Made it impossible for Saad. Oh, no, he didn't. It's a Saadi party. He runs off half-back.
Great chase.
More bounces and drives it long. He's got Curnow and Owies. Hanson Jr. can't collect it. Tucker swallowed by Saad. For some breathing space. Saad from the top of the square.
Free kick, definitely there.
We took the 4 points on Sunday, but it wasn't after withstanding a brave effort from North Melbourne. After trailing at half-time, an inspired third quarter saw us pile on 7 goals to open up a handy lead. This locked in our 12th win of the season. Adam Size started off halfback, Charlie Curnow kicked 4 goals, while Patrick Cripps continued his strong form with 29 disposals, the most of any Blue. Jesse Motlop marked his return to action with 3 goals. So we'll get into the segment called the Coach's Box. So,
Look, at selection, we went in with the one ruck again, which I think probably is the best option for us normally. But when that one ruck goes down, you can be in trouble. There was quite a few significant changes. We had 5 players come in, and most of them being rewarded after strong form in the reserves. But we did lose them. We had a few players out with injury or illness. So Motlop's come in for his first game of the year, which is a big deal. After some good form in the Resies, made an impact. Sam Durden came in for his second game ever. Don't see much of him, but it's good for him to get the opportunity for the Ewell Marchbank. Georgie Hewitt started in the reserves last week and so came in and got another opportunity and did very well. More about him. And 2 other guys that we haven't seen a lot of lately, Jack Carroll and Cunningham, of course, after some strong reserves form. So quite a few changes. The team tactics were interesting because there was 3 defenders that were either omitted or injured and just the one in who was a defender in Sam Durden.
Yeah.
So this explained why Chero was run off half-back rather than playing in his normal midfield role. There was some success with this tactic because he did have a number of intercept marks and gave us some drive, but it left us a little bit thin in the middle at other times.
Yeah.
So you're robbing Peter to pay Paul pretty much. Just in terms of how this all panned out for us, we did struggle in the midfield, I felt, in the first half. We lost the clearances badly, particularly in the second quarter. It coincided with us having a number of our key players, especially TDK, out for significant periods of time. When he was off, it seemed that we weren't winning as many clearances.
Yeah.
So that hurt us. It's a bad omen for the next 6 weeks, I guess. And then a number of other injuries. So TDK had a fractured foot, 6 weeks out.
And punctured lung.
That's right, and a punctured lung. He was off at least twice for significant periods. Sam Walsh went off for treatment on his back. Mackay had a potential concussion, which turned out to not be a concussion, even though the AFL were getting fired up about it. I think I trust our team doctors more than them.
And Fox Footy making a big...
Well, you're getting a lot of commentators with uninformed commentary. They don't have any medical expertise, and they think they know better than our team officials do. Kennedy was off for a while. Durden had a dodgy calf. Akers is going for scans now and was off, eventually subbed out. Constant reshuffling of the deck, and that I think probably meant we were on the defensive, particularly in the second half, until we really started to get a lot more of the footy in the second half, and then started to break the game open eventually.
Yeah. So talking about TDK contributing to clearances, I believe he got 10 clearances. So
the thing about him, he not only wins the ruck, he grabs the ball and gets the ball forward and finds people. You know, he's a pretty agile guy to have in the ruck.
And unfortunately, he will not be with us for the rest of the season. Home and away season. So I wish him the best. Overall, would you say our... it was 8 clearances.
8 clearances. So that's just behind Cripper.
Yeah, and Hewitt. So, equal, most with Hewitt. Overall, would you say that our defence has improved after we identified that as a problem last week?
A good question. I thought we still struggled in that first half.
Yeah.
It was probably because we had some number of defenders out and only, like I said, that one defender in, that was Durden, and then he was injured. You know, so we lacked some of those specialist defenders. And I think we're missing McGovern. I think he makes a difference in our back six. So a bit of a hole without him there. And I think when we didn't have enough of the ball, we struggled in defence. When we started to dominate the footy, that took the pressure off the defence, which was the main difference in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to the structure too. So let's get into notable performances. So our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 votes.
Well, you just can't go past WA's own Patrick Cripps, who just dominated and was easily our best player on the field. I felt he will be in the votes for sure, no doubt about it. Most touches, most tackles, most clearances for us, just really in the midst of everything. I think the only thing I would say is Cripps needs a bit more help because it's he's having one of his best ever seasons. But we won't win games if we're just relying too much on him. But that's not Cripps' fault. That's the fault of others that need to step up. One fellow who did step up, and I'll give him 4 votes, is George Hewitt. First came back, got dropped, and didn't, looked at it the right way. Went and got a lot of the footy last week in the reserves, came back and contributed really well. He had a very even, consistent game across the board. And second high number of clearances, and I felt that he made a great contribution.
Yeah, 22 disposals, 8 clearances. Rack up the tackles too.
Yeah, he was fairly
6 tackles.
Fairly significant in the tackles as well. So I just thought he was pretty good overall, a pretty consistent match. Look, the 3 votes I wanted to give a shout out to Adam Sard. I thought he was great. It's not just about how many touches you have, it's about how you use them and what you bring to the team. And he really helped bust the game open when we really needed it in the third and fourth quarters with his dash off the back line. There was one sequence in particular where he just took on and beat about 3 or 4 opponents, sprinted with the footy, kicked it long into the forward line and led directly to a goal. Just amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you had a stat, didn't you, on how often he bounced the ball?
It would be 8 bounces.
Look, the Blues are always a better team when Sard is running with the ball.
Yeah.
And the fans, they know this. That's why they do the big wolf. They love watching him with that big, massive raking left foot.
Yep, it was one of the loudest wolves I've heard, even though we weren't there. It was pretty big when we were there last week, but I'm sure that build-up to the wolf was pretty loud, and it looked pretty... you could hear it.
We heard it from here.
Yeah.
In Perth. Charlie kicked 4 goals. I'm giving him the 2 votes. Look, it wasn't just the number of goals, but the fact, again, in that third quarter, I felt he really stepped up. Because that's when we won the game. Yeah. And you've got to reward your game winners, and... He couldn't be the game winner when we wanted him to against North, but he certainly was against, I think, helped win the game on the weekend against North Melbourne. So hats off to him. I think it was a dog, sorry. He couldn't quite get it done, but he got it done against North Melbourne. And I think it was just about him making the most of his opportunities this time. And I thought it was a pretty handy cameo for him. And look, one vote to our old mate, Jacob Wittering, who is just so consistent in defence. And, just he's probably the most important player structurally to us. Although sometimes I wonder with TDK, he's very handy too. But really our defence really struggles without Wittering because he just knows where to be and what to do.
I reckon that would be the single most worst injury for us to have.
I agree. Yep. I think Wittering would be devastating, and we've struggled in the past when we haven't had him.
And his corkies have given us a few frights over the...
Well, he's had a couple of corkies this year, and we haven't done well when he's not moving freely. So we need him fit and firing, and he was pretty good again on the weekend. So one vote to him.
And it was good to see Charlie defy the doubters.
Yeah, people having a go at Charlie. Look, not every game, even the best players don't perform at their best every single game. But the guy now has a 4-goal lead in the Coleman after winning it the last 2 matches. It's not just about that, but he sets up a lot of goals for his teammates too. So we're big fans of Charlie here. Underrated, a bit of a shout out to Jesse Motlop. He kicked 3 goals on his return.
Yeah.
And he's been made to work for his ones position in the ones, which I like. So they had him in the VFL for a number of games before he got his opportunity. And the 2 first goals he kicked, we really needed that. Yeah. They were on a roll, and it just helped keep us in the game at the time.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So shout out to Jesse for his first game back.
Indeed. So... let's get into the preview of round 20 versus Port Adelaide. Another rematch. And the last time we played them was really very much a statement win. And now we need to come back and also get another statement because the pressure's on again.
Well, this is a big game for us. Port are really hot and cold. We smashed them in Adelaide, but I'm not taking anything for granted. I don't think we're at the peak of our form at the moment. So I think that they'll be a real challenge for us. This is a bit of a must-win game to make the top 4, I'd say. The kind of game we need to win. I think the key with the power, you stop the power midfielders and you'll go a long way to winning the match.
Yeah.
They've got a star-studded midfield with Horne-Francis, with Rosie and Butters. And if you stop 2 out of those 3, you'll go a long way to winning the game.
Yeah.
So I'd expect Chincotta to probably go to Butters again. He did a great job on him last time. And then maybe someone like Hewitt or Kennedy might have a defensive role, at least part defensive role against one of the other 2. And they won't probably tag all 3. And even if one of them, Horne-Francis had a pretty handy game last time, wasn't enough.
No.
So we'll take one of them getting off the leash, but if 2 or 3 of them get off the leash, we're in trouble. And the danger with Port is when they get on the momentum, they can really take you to town. They can really bust the game open.
Yep.
So we've got to be careful about that. But if dominate the midfield, I think we can win the match.
Indeed. Do I need a bit of a discussion on the injuries? Cover that?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. So we've got TDK out for the rest of the season, which is really bad news. He's a real loss. Pitnet is pretty handy, and he's just as good in the ruck itself. But it's probably all the work that TDK does around the ground that will be missed, I'd say. He's like an extra midfielder, I think you've said before.
Yep.
He's very fit, very agile. We're also sweating on the fitness of Akers, and he's undertaking scans. Akers is a pretty tough cookie, though. He's been known to play with broken ribs. Remember the finals?
Yeah, shoulder and... Yeah.
No, but you never know. Look, we want him fit and firing, and I think we're a much better team with Akers in it. We'll see how he goes. If Akers doesn't get up, I think Jackson Binns would be a certain inclusion, I would have thought. How many touches did he get in the VFL?
48.
That is just extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Crazy.
If ever someone deserves and I think he kicked a couple of snags. And
3.
Yeah, I mean, you just couldn't ask for much more than that. I'd love to see him get an opportunity. The other guy we're really hoping is back in the team is McGovern. I think we're a better team with McGovern in it. So we're really hoping he plays. Yeah, but we've got a few injury concerns. I mentioned quite a few of those players that went down. Let's hope they're all getting up because we've only got a 5-day break too. Sunday game, and then this is a Friday night game.
Yeah,
So yeah, I guess we'll see. I think McGovern has had a bit of a break. Maybe he's back in.
Yep. So, quickly, your predictions.
I'm going to tip the Blues by 14 points. I'm not as bullish. I just think they want to do enough to bag the points this time round, and if every game win matters, and I think that's about where we're at the moment.
Yep. I'm also going to take a conservative approach to the margin. I'm going to say by 8 points. So.
Well, a win is a win.
Yeah. It would be very critical for us to win this game. So, with that, thank you for watching episode 11 of the Perth Blue Baggers pod. If you have any thoughts, please comment below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. Thank you. Up the Baggers.
Calm the Blues.